All right, now that we worked through some of those scenarios of how to choose whether the right for, SIPs are right for you and standard construction versus SIPs, and really understanding about SIPs in the first place, about the confusion, and demystifying them. Let's move on to a point that is perhaps one of the core factors when it comes to people deciding whether to go with SIPs. And let's talk about the financial impact of using SIPs. We already touched a lot about the return on investment and so forth, but there's one angle that we have not talked about at all, and that is with all the green energy movement issues going on and Energy Star and so forth. Let's hit that angle as the government is actually providing tax credits for certain energy products. So are SIPs Energy Star rated?
Yes.
Now what goes into that rating, as you understand with SIPs?
The product itself goes through an evaluation of being super energy efficient.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell, pretty much. And that transfers into all the components in your house. Your windows, they can be Energy Star rated.
Okay.
Your HVAC equipment can be Energy Star rated. And adding all those components together, it builds up to having an Energy Star rated house. Okay. So if you have only your SIPs as being Energy Star rated, is that important? Yes, but it's not as important as making sure all your components are Energy Star rated to get the maximum efficiency out of it. Okay. Having your SIPs Energy Star rated and it being the tight component that it is as far as insulation.
And the largest probably.
And the largest component, it helps you do not only qualify for Energy Star rating tax credits, but also it requires that you have a smaller furnace, smaller air conditioning unit.
Okay.
And now you might have to get those sized by a HVAC engineer in order to qualify for that smaller unit, because the township's going to go, oh, that's a big house, you need a bigger unit, you're not going to have enough stuff for that. But altogether, if you don't have Energy Star rated windows and you have a lot of glass, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Okay.
So every component has to work together.
But the panels, the SIPs, are Energy Star. Okay, great.
Yes.
And would they, the engineering you said about the HVAC systems and heating and all that stuff, that should be done locally through their contractor that they choose to put those systems in? That's not something to work in at the beginning when you're getting drawings and all that stuff?
No, not necessarily, because we have to finalize the drawings so we know how many square feet of glass surface we have in the windows. Because there's a bigger heat loss through windows and doors than there is through the SIP wall itself. And what kind of roof, it actually comes into play whether it's a flat ceiling or a slope ceiling, because it makes a difference in your energy values.
Yes, we talked about that, yeah. One more question along the lines of the financial impact of using SIPs. That is, for the homeowner, are their mortgage qualifications affected by building with SIPs?
That's a yes and a no and a maybe.
Okay.
It all depends on who your mortgage provider is, and it also depends on what not just the federal tax credits, but the state tax credits are available for. And they shift around, they come and go every year. There's, in the beginning when these LEED specified homes came out.
That's LEED.
LEED, which is an energy rating principle. And Energy Star qualifications was big there for a while. It still is, but you don't hear it so much now. Some of the tax credits have actually expired. Okay. And there might be new ones coming in place. There might be some stuff that's permanent. I am not an expert on that.
Right.
But I know that the best thing to do with that is to check with your mortgage broker when you do go for a mortgage, or even with your tax professional. If you do pay for anything out of pocket, some people pay for their houses cash. So, you can still qualify for a tax deduction on your income if you have a certain amount of Energy Star rating or LEED certified home. I don't know how the system works, but I know there are pros and cons to everything, and there's perks out there available. You
just be forthright and ask your lender.
Yep.
Or lenders if you're qualifying differently.
You just got to dig deep, because it's a specialty field all by itself. Right. I am not qualified to answer that in a huge way, so.
Okay, sounds good. That's all important information to know as we put some thought and planning into this.